5 on your side at 10 starts now.
More fallout tonight on the city's failure to warn.
Accountability is everything.
New reaction from leaders on the firing of the head of St. Louis's emergency management.
After 6 days with temperatures in the 90s, what a nice break. But there's an even bigger break heading our way as we head into the weekend. What that means for your outdoor plans.
Our top story, a deadly end to a police pursuit.
He was armed with a stolen firearm.
Police opened fire. Now a family is demanding answers.
I want to know why they chose to hurt him.
That man was shot and killed by 2 St. Anne police officers outside his Bell Ridge home. Good evening, I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. Investigators say it all started with a traffic stop and that the suspect was armed. 5 on your side's Robert Townsend is live outside the North County Police Cooperative, which is now handling the investigation. Robert.
Mike and Kelly, a spokesman for North County Police Cooperative, says they will conduct a thorough investigation into the shooting involving the officers. Meantime, Troy Hamilton's family says he should still be alive. Sergeant Ben Santoyo with North County Police Cooperative says shortly after midnight Wednesday, 2 St. John police officers tried to pull over Troy Hamilton after he violated a stop sign.
He ignored emergency lights and sirens.
Investigators say the 37-year-old Hamilton failed to stop near the intersection of St. Charles Rock Road and North and South Road. Police say Hamilton, a convicted felon, sped off in a stolen Pontiac.
The St. Anne Police Department deployed a GPS tracking device known as Star Chase, which successfully tracked the vehicle.
St. Anne police tracked Hamilton to his home on Wellsburg Drive in Bell Ridge. They say Hamilton jumped out of the car with a stolen gun, ran towards his front porch, and then got into a physical altercation with 2 St. Anne police officers who tried to arrest him.
The stolen firearm was produced by the suspect during altercation. During the physical altercation, Hamilton was fatally wounded. 1 officer incurred injuries. 2 officers, one was 6 years and another was 7 years of experience, discharged their service weapons in response to a threat.
I'm devastated by this loss. I have not heard any reason for this tragedy.
Hamilton's devastated family later spoke out during a news conference with the St. Louis County NAACP and the St. Louis Urban League.
My son was killed right here where we are, right on this porch, trying to get into his own house. He was shot 2 times in the back, running, scared from the police.
Oh, I ain't seen no guns.
Terrell Davis was in the stolen car with Hamilton. Davis ran and hid in a backyard after his friend was shot. He also showed up during the family's news conference.
He just kept saying he ain't do nothing. He feel like he ain't got no reason for like, what do we do? What do we do? And then that's why he came to the house and wanted to, be somewhere safe.
So we would like to see the prosecutor request that St. Louis County conducts its investigation because they have the equipment, the expertise that's needed to be transparent and give a thorough investigation.
Now, even though Terrell Davis was in the public eye today, police still call him a suspect, and tonight they are still looking for him. Meantime, St. Louis County prosecutors will get this case in their hands and review it. We're live in North County. I'm Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
Developing tonight, a shooting victim dropped off at Barnes Jewish Hospital set off a chain of events that ended in a crash and major traffic delays. Kings Highway was shut down between Laclede and Pine after the wreck. Police say the victim was shot near the Walnut Park West neighborhood and taken to Barnes Jewish. After dropping the victim off, the car sped away and then collided with another vehicle, injuring that driver. 3 people ran from the scene, but hospital public safety officers caught up with them and took them into custody.
Having people step up in times of need is what St. Louis is all about, and St. Louisans depend on that, especially when our community needs help, because there were members of our community today that needed help from violent, fleeing individuals who probably have no regard for life.
The victim of the shooting is 19 years old and is in critical condition. Police arrested a 16 and 17-year-old along with 1 other suspect. The driver of the second car involved in the crash is expected to be okay.
We have new details tonight in a deadly hit and run in North St. Louis. Within the last 3 hours, police shared this wanted poster for 37-year-old Bandito Farmer. He is wanted on involuntary manslaughter charges. Police believe he hit and killed 20-year-old Tory Dunn early Saturday morning on North Grand before abandoning his car at a nearby gas station. Police say Farmer should be considered armed and dangerous. If you see him, call police.
Tonight, the head of St. Louis's Emergency Management Agency is officially out of a job. Today, we learned Commissioner Sarah Russell was fired 90 days after being put on paid leave in the days following the deadly May 16th tornado. This all stems from the city's failure to activate warning sirens when the storm hit.
An audit released this week revealed those shortfalls. 5 on your side's Laura Barcheski has new reaction from city leaders and the community.
On Wednesday, the Department of Public Safety said, quote, DPS confirms the separation of Sarah Russell with the city of St. Louis. At a fundraising event at Urban Chestnut for tornado victims, Mayor Kara Spencer addressed the issue briefly.
Nothing I can say about that right now. It's a personnel matter. But what I can say is that the report really outlines some of the issues that we who lived through the tornado experienced and understood.
Alderman Rasheen Aldridge says this is just the first step on the road to accountability, but the responsibility doesn't just fall on Russell.
It's mixed emotions because before this tornado, I would say that they have done an exceptional job in the role. I do think they dropped the ball, and the reality is lives were lost, homes are damaged, and when we're in these roles of public service, we have to be held accountable.
Russell said in a statement on Facebook days before they were supposed to have a pre-termination review at City Hall, quote, my experiences tell me that it doesn't matter what I say. It hasn't mattered since the tornado hit, and it didn't matter before that. They also posted repeated efforts to get more funding and staff for EMA were denied. Those things were also recommended in the report. Aldridge says he hopes to address it.
And I will say this Board of Aldermen and this new budget committee that I'm able to be the chair of actually took some proactive steps to add an additional position to the SEMA department. Now, there's more positions that need to be filled, and I think moving forward, the budget committee, as well as a public safety committee, are looking at how we can have a joint meeting together, hopefully in the near future.
Community advocate Dr. Chantel Jones says accountability is important, and the report revelation that sirens weren't even working is a tragedy.
Where we thought that we were in a place of healing, now that trust has been diminished yet again. And so how do we get that back? And how do we create a barrier where our community starts to retrust the political people who have been elected and voted in office?
Aldridge tells me Russell has 14 days to appeal this decision, and he hopes to get the budget and public safety committees together for a meeting to address specific issues on this report in September. Reporting live downtown, Laura Barcheski, 5 on your side.
$730 million. That is the whopping estimate tonight on the cost of tornado debris removal in the city of St. Louis. According to our partners at the St. Louis Business Journal, the figure comes from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. The city is calling on the federal agency to help with debris removal, which will cut down on the cost to the city and state. The deadline for victims of the May 16th tornado to apply for federal help is now less than a week away. The cutoff is August 26th. For more information on how to apply, text the word FEMA to 314-425-5355. We'll send you a link.
Just hours ago, the Texas House of Representatives gave final approval to a plan that could give Republicans 5 more seats in the U.S. House. Democrats have been trying to block the vote for weeks. Some even fled to Illinois to avoid a vote. Texas Governor Greg Abbott is expected to sign the bill immediately after the state Senate approves it tomorrow morning. California Governor Gavin Newsom is proposing a plan to give Democrats more seats. Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe has supported redrawing the state's congressional map. However, he has not made a decision on calling a special session to make that happen. You may soon see more FBI agents on the streets of St. Louis. U.S. Senator Eric Schmidt announced today he secured the investment to combat crime in the city. He says it'll be one of the largest per capita infusions of full-time agents in the nation. This is all part of the Trump administration's crackdown on crime. Details, though, vague at this point. It's not clear what the agents will exactly be doing in the city.
How that affects people's everyday life when you go to a Cardinals game or there are FBI agents on the corner, how does that make you feel? Does that make you, for some folks, that might make them feel more safe, and for others, that might make them feel less safe.
The St. Louis Metro Police Department tells 5 on Your Side homicides and violent crimes are down since 2020 thanks to help from state and federal partners.
We have learned the person infected with a brain-eating amoeba at the Lake of the Ozarks has died. The Department of Health and Senior Services says the patient died yesterday at a St. Louis area hospital. Health experts believe they were infected with the highly rare and deadly pathogen while water skiing. Elevated levels of mold has delayed the start to the school year for students at Coldwater Elementary in Hazelwood. The school building is closed as crews remediate some classrooms. District officials say this type of mold is common and is rarely a risk for healthy students. The district hopes to reopen the school Monday, 1 week late.
Tonight, more than a dozen homes in St. Louis are being tested for radioactive waste. This comes in addition to the 6 homes already scheduled for demolition because of contamination. The affected houses are on Cades Cove near Coldwater Creek in Florissant. The contamination traces back to the production of the atomic bomb here in St. Louis. These additional homes are not expected to be demolished, but homeowners remain deeply concerned about what's ahead.
I'm still making the house payments. I'm by myself. I don't have, great, let's sell the house, but who's going to buy a house that has nuclear waste in their backyard? No one's going to buy that house.
This new round of sampling is meant to be extra data for remediation designs.
St. Louis underground.
The tunnels we're standing in right now are tunnels that were built roughly 100 years ago.
Tonight, a rare look at the river buried beneath Forest Park and how it keeps the city safe. Saving souls.
A lot of this stuff now is very expensive to buy new.
The old-time profession giving old shoes new life and helping you save money.
There'll be a little extra pep in your step as you head out the door tomorrow morning with widespread 60s across the area. Looks like we're in a generally quiet pattern. We are tracking some more changes, though, coming for the weekend. We'll tell you what that means for your plans.
Tonight, a rare look at what's buried underneath St. Louis. These century-old tunnels below Forest Park were designed to keep the city cleaner and people healthier. The idea was born a decade after the 1904 World's Fair. Metropolitan Sewer District says enclosing the river Des Peres in concrete was to keep wastewater away from people. Some residents blame this marvel in human engineering for flash flooding around the river.
The problems that we're seeing in the River Des Peres watershed are the result of a lot of development and no place for the water to go. You know, right now we're underneath Forest Park. There's green space and lakes everywhere. A lot of places for water to go besides this tunnel.
An interceptor pipe keeps the wastewater out of the river and feeds it to MSD's water treatment plant in Limay.
Missouri's only accredited tiger sanctuary is closing its gates for good. Crown Ridge Tiger Sanctuary has operated in St. Genevieve County since 2004. It will hold its final public tour on September 28th. No reason was given for the closure. 2 of the big cats will be transferred to an animal refuge in Arkansas. Well, there will not be a Taste of Black St. Louis this year. Today, organizers canceled the annual food festival. It was supposed to take place next month at Soldiers Memorial. Organizers blame the loss of a corporate sponsorship and multiple vendors.
The city of Chesterfield will soon be a landlord. The city council approved a $17 million purchase this week of a fully leased office building and parking garage. It's located near the downtown Chesterfield development. According to our partners at the St. Louis Business Journal, the purchase will help meet some, but not all, of the parking demand of that mixed-use development and the Chesterfield Amphitheater. Well, you might be tossing shoes that your parents or grandparents would have had repaired.
That's still an option because shoe cobbler shops still exist. New at 10, Allison Gormley shows us how a fix could save you money while keeping shoes out of the landfill.
It's a family business fixing shoes.
My grandfather was a shoemaker, and his grandfather was a shoemaker.
Dad Dominic Mina and son Nick Mina run Hacky Instant Shoe Repair at the Greenwood Park Mall.
Nick's been here probably, I'd say, since he was 13.
The two take shoes, purses, and belts in rough shape and turn them into something new again.
A lot of this stuff now is very expensive to buy new. So if you can double the life of them for a small repair fee, it makes it worthwhile.
For example, leather cowboy boots that can cost hundreds of dollars.
A lot of these come in because they're too tight in here, they're too tight in the calf. We open these up and put zippers in them. Sometimes we make the heels higher or lower. The straps are wore out.
Mina said another reason customers come to them, they want to hold on to something special.
People have their favorite purse or their favorite jacket or favorite boots, and they want to keep them. Yeah.
We called a few cobblers to get some price ranges, and high heel replacements range from $15 to $25. Resold shoes between $40 and $125, a belt extension between $25 and $45, and finally a new purse strap, $25 and up. Fixing accessories when possible is also better for the environment. It's estimated the U.S. sent more than 9 million tons of clothing and footwear to a landfill just in 2018. That's almost 2,500 full garbage trucks every day for that year. A MENA mission to preserve possessions, the planet, and a family legacy.
The Shoe Service Institute of America reports shoe repair shops nationwide have dwindled from 100,000 in the 1930s to just a few thousand today. Tomorrow's scientists got a hands-on lesson in artificial intelligence today. Millipore Sigma's Curiosity Cube visited Melanthie Botanical Garden Elementary in St. Louis. The interactive mobile science lab is designed to spark interest in STEM careers for students ages 8 to 14. The Curiosity Cube will be in town visiting schools through August 28th.
New tigers have moved into their dens in Columbia. Yeah, today was move-in day for incoming Mizzou freshmen. More than 4,000 students and their families are expected to be in Columbia over the next 2 days. Volunteers there were ready for the rush.
We have 3 primary move-in days, and over those days we'll have 1,000 volunteers of Mizzou faculty and staff, and then also individuals from the community come in. And you see Mizzou come to life with the return of all the students. It's like a burst of energy throughout the community.
The first day of classes are on Monday. It seems like just yesterday I was moving my kids into dorms at Mizzou, and it wasn't just yesterday. It was quite a while ago.
It wasn't. Pretty soon you have grandkids going.
Yeah.
No, they're pretty young.
Yeah, not quite. They're not quite that old.
Well, Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is here with the weather impact forecast. Oh boy, such a difference. Even if it's just like 5 or 6 degree difference,
right?
It makes a huge difference.
Well, and we also lowered the humidity, so you get that double bonus of it being a bit cooler and the lower humidity. We're looking out into St. Charles, where of course Lindenwood University is, and we're looking west towards St. Peter's, Newfoundland. There actually are a couple of little showers that have been up to our north, and they're drifting towards the southwest, and they're coming out of Jersey County across the peach orchards of Calhoun County and rolling into northern portions of St. Charles County. So pretty close here to Fort Zumwalt North High School. You just may get a brief downpour, and that's about it. It's not enough to amount to much. Doesn't seem to have any lightning with it, certainly no cloud to ground lightning, and it's going to continue to fall apart as it pushes southwest of St. Louis. We are down to 80 degrees right now. Up the road, temperatures have dropped back as the skies have started to clear out. We do think out the door tomorrow morning, you're in the upper 60s. So 6 o'clock, very light winds, upper 60s. This morning's low was 72. We're in the bonus round. So what's new? Well, it's definitely much more comfortable. We know that. We can feel that. We have mainly dry weather. This is an aberration of what you see out there right now, just kind of drifting through. That's not something that's going to be widespread. And this dry pattern will last into next week. And it gets even better because temperatures next week will drop off a little more. And we'll have low temperatures that for some of us may be a little on the cool side. There's another front that comes through on Saturday. Other than a few clouds, it looks like it doesn't have enough moisture to really generate showers for us. By Sunday, the drier air is pushing in and across the region. That means if you're trying to squeeze out another weekend at the area lakes, Saturday is your warmer day. It cools off a little bit heading towards Sunday, and those water temperatures are also starting to cool off a little bit. They're still warm, but they're starting to come down. Speaking of coming down, look at your low temperatures early next week, okay? These are the morning lows, Monday morning, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, in the 50s. There will be spots that are probably going to be just below 50 degrees for the low come Tuesday morning in the coolest spots. It's 80 right now, dew point 68. 86 was the high, 72 the low on the average. That comes out about normal, but it's a little on the below side for the high today. Tomorrow, 60s out the door. back into the mid-70s tomorrow afternoon. Your next 7 days, relatively uneventful, but you notice we warm back into the upper 80s here heading into Saturday. After that front slides through, we drop those temperatures into the 70s, and this is a taste of autumn. We haven't had that kind of weather since about the first week in June, when we had highs in the 70s and lows in the 50s. So that's a little bit of a treat for us.
Yeah, it looks very comfortable. Scott, thanks. Frank is here with sports.
Mike, all I can say is I will be making a public apology live on television. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. We'll be right back. I would like to begin this sportscast by publicly apologizing to our audience, to my family, and to my pastor. You see, at 6 o'clock, live on TV, I used the S word. Yes, I mentioned the Cardinals could sweep the Marlins tonight. I jinxed them again. There were 2 Cardinal fans in Miami, almost the same amount that the Marlins had. 3-0 Marlins in the 5th. Lars Nootbaar with a ground rule double off Sandy Alcantara. Joel Pozo scores. We have a 3-1 game. Let's move to the 6th, and this is a bomb by Wilson Contreras, 414 feet. The Cardinals were down 4-2. But Miami would not be denied. Maximo Acosta will take Andre Palante to deep center. Palante gave up 5 runs in 5 1/3 innings. Marlins win 6-2.
That's something I dread. It's the worst thing that a head coach has to do.
It's so bad that Coach Eli Drinkwitz has delayed the decision even further. He did not name a starting quarterback for next week's opener against Central Arkansas. Instead, the coach issued a statement today saying that both Sam Horn and Bo Pribula will play next Thursday, and that way he can evaluate them further against live competition. And it does make it a little tougher for Kansas to prepare for the Tigers in week 2.
This 5 on Your Side St. Louis City SC coverage is sponsored by Together Credit Union.
City SC has to go to Vancouver on Saturday night, and that won't be a day at the park. Vancouver has 25 more points than City, but the squad has played better recently. Now let's go to the 50,000 square foot Ronald McDonald House in St. Louis. It's beautiful, and on the inside, something even more beautiful was happening. Some City SC players and sporting director Lutz Pfannenstiel showed up to cook a meal for the families at the Ronald McDonald House. Chef Matt Borchardt was advising, thank goodness, and I asked them about their cooking skills.
Very mediocre. I mean, I can make the simple pasta bolognese and some salmon dishes, but not anything very fancy.
They've had to get a lot better recently, cooking a lot more on my own and things like that.
Terrible. I'm not a natural chef, I never was, but it's great to explore in a mature age like myself that there's something, to learn.
SLU men's soccer begins their season tomorrow night at Herman Stadium. If you look at the roster, you'll notice a few things. It's noticeably younger, and many of those young players are from the St. Louis area. SLU has 9 freshmen and sophomores from the region, and they could be called on to produce right away.
We've been very fortunate to foster a great relationship with St. Louis City and a lot of the youth clubs in the area. Our number one priority will always be to get St. Louis players at SLU. Obviously, every year is a little bit different on what your recruiting needs are. It just so happened that we lost a large amount of talent and players last year. So kind of a little bit of opportunity, spots to fill, a little bit of that was a really good cycle of players coming through locally.
In just 2 weeks, NASCAR comes back to Worldwide Technology Raceway. Today, the man who won last year's Enjoy Illinois 300 was serving up dishes at Mama's on the Hill. Austin Cindric has already clinched a spot in the playoffs, so he will be racing for something on September 7th. Here's how he breaks down the playoff picture.
There's only one driver heading into Daytona that has made it in on points or is in on points, and that's still not guaranteed. So I look at it as a necessity to think that you're going to be in the playoffs is to win a race. So you have to go in every season expecting to try and win if you want to go race for a championship. So earning that spot and earning the opportunity to go race for a championship against 16 best in the series is what it's all about, really.
And NASCAR announced their 2026 schedule, And Worldwide Technology Raceway will host another playoff event next year.
Wow, that's fantastic. Frank, thanks.
Well, just when you thought it was safe to go back into the cornfield, the Mega Maze, where you will be swimming with a notorious shark.
A new episode of Rennie on the Block dropped tonight on our 5+ streaming app. This week, Rennie highlights 3 businesses along Macklin. You can watch it right now or anytime for free on your Roku, Apple, Fire, Samsung, or LG TV. And some business news, Small Sliders is getting bigger in St. Louis. The drive-through fast food chain, constructed out of shipping containers, opened a second location this week in Ellisville.
It is located on Manchester Road, that's just east of Clarkson. Smalls opened its first Missouri restaurant in Bridgeton back in January, and a third location is planned in St. Peters on Mid-Rivers Mall Drive. Okay, you're going to need a bigger boat to get through this corn maze. A farm in Mayfield, Kentucky celebrates the 50th anniversary of the movie Jaws. The giant maze is billed as the largest in the Bluegrass State. It opened September 14th. Mayfield's about a 3.5-hour drive from St. Louis.
And there you have it. 5 on your side at 10. We're always streaming on 5+.
Start your day with Today in St. Louis. That starts at 5 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.